what is it, since December? Since December last time I saw you?
Yeah, New Jersey, Atlantic City.
So how it's been?
Busy.
Busy?
Yeah. But training's good. Body's healthy. So I had like a big career change. So I work with my hands on power tools all day, every day. And then I go train and yeah, my hand feels stupid right now. So
Like I'm thinking to, start to actually get the real job where I work with these because it probably helps a lot,
oh, it helps so much. Like we work with other guys, they just don't have our hands.
Yeah.
It's stuff they can't do.
Yeah.
Well,
That's pretty great. That's pretty great. Listen, last time, Lars, did you rewatch that match?
yeah.
So your feelings after rewatching the match?
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed I didn't get my shoulder in the way I did in the last round earlier. I feel like that would have just made the whole thing a lot easier than it was. So, so a couple of things to learn from there. So a lot of attention to my kind of postural positioning, really integrating a lot of abdominal rotation to aid my internal shoulder rotation, which is helping me really get across and kind of have people fall into my hook instead of getting into this kind of pulling thing where if you go against someone like Irakli, you just take your own hand essentially. So really getting into using my frame a lot harder, a lot faster, and there's a lot more confidence in that route these days. So
How's your top roll?
top roll is actually doing really, really good. But then I realize I'm going against Petro.
Yeah.
So, how good is it going really? I guess we'll find out, but that's a big hand. So
Yeah. Like you have probably seen like when Petro trains, he looks very clunky. Like he doesn't really have fluidity. But when he arm wrestles, he knows exactly like he just right? That hand is it's so massive. I don't think he wants to pull a hook, but he just ends up in a hook because of the
yeah,
like crazy wrist flexion.
my observation from the matches that he's essentially won are the ones where people want to get into a drag with him. Like Nugo, he had a couple of good rounds, and then he ended up dragging. And it's like, all right, one thing to learn: don't try and out drag Petro. That hand, the way he grips so low, it does open doors, but it's a courageous move. But it feels like you want to pull against him because the hand's available, but he just clamps down on you. So he just shuts any rotation out and your hand don't matter. So it's like, don't get into a drag war with him. It's just, that seems like his strongest lane. And of course, if I feel strong enough, we go there, but he ain't no slouch. So, I've got to respect his lanes and avoid them, get the match done, and maybe we can figure it out later. But, yeah.
From what I've seen with him, and I just rewatched a few matches, like he controls a lot with that hand because the hand is so powerful. It's big, right? So he will, and he will just, and then he will end up in positions, and he will just fight from those positions. And I think there's something that you can expose because he might go where you want to go. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. It opens some doors.
Open some doors, but just fight the right one.
Exactly. And then, like, I think you kind of allude, I'm not going to try and drag with him, which would be my, kind of my go-to, because typically, pardon me, get connected to my lats, get connected to my bicep, I'm in a good spot, typically. But when someone is taken to these places by very high-level people and drags himself out of it, it's like, well, that would just be kind of stupid, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be careful there. Is it 105 kilos?
Yeah.
105. Is it like something? It could be like a title eliminator, right? Because Matt Mask versus Nugo, and it's you versus Petro.
That complicates things a little bit because Petro beat Nugo, right?
Yes.
So,
yeah.
and if Nugo beats Matt Mask, and I beat Petro. What happens then?
Well,
I guess
it's the arm wrestling mess we live in, right? It's
yeah. Who would be my next match logically?
yes,
It's
yes. But you were texting me that you're gonna pull Nugo and that match got canceled, right? Or
yeah,
changed, or
yeah. It changed. Yeah, it's changed. So like I was already preparing, which is fine. And finally, the game change didn't change at all.
Mhm.
So when that was kind of, asked me, how do you feel about that one? Of course, I went back and looked at Petro and did a little bit of study on him and went, yeah, let's go. Nothing has to change. So,
You just go from insanely big from small hand to big hand. Like that's the big change.
I mean, yeah, that is the big change. But in what I'm doing with training and what I'd intended to do
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Nugo
yeah.
was, yeah, my plan hadn't changed because both of them
Yeah.
was like, oh, I can expose what I'm going to do on both of them. So,
Yeah.
slightly
I
different.
talked with Matt yesterday, and he's also on this pad for 105 title, And I feel like you've been super active. You've been pulling a lot. You had your wins, you have your losses. There's guys like everyone's talking. Like I feel like Krasi is looking really good now. He's somewhere in that contention for the title as well. So like if you beat Nugo, that's probably one of the biggest
Petro.
wins. Petro. If you
Yeah.
beat Petro, that's
What I
probably
found
one
was
of the big.
interesting, because Nugo took 2 rounds off Petro, Nugo didn't lose anything from that. People were like, holy shit, Nugo's
Yes.
legit because he took 2 rounds off him. And I'm like, that's made me go, okay, I'm getting an understanding of where this guy's level is at. So, yeah, I'm super pumped to test it. It's just far more of this time.
Yeah. You expected like, can you win on endurance, or do you win by power,
I think I win by speed
by
because he
speed?
catches. He catches, that gives me enough time to get in everything that I need to get in. And I know that when I'm in my spot, I'm extremely difficult to roll out of, and I have options from there as well.
Yeah.
I don't have to kick the front door down. Things can revert. If I'm gaining the rotation that I need, then I can kind of play with. So if he's a catcher and I can dominate center, then it puts me in a really advantageous position. And when endurance comes in, when I can lock down on my lats, that's a all day, every day. It's kind of the one benefit from powerlifting for all those years was my back
You can
has
just.
always been my strongest. Yeah. So get on
I
those lats and I
would
can
say it
hardly.
helps in arm wrestling a little bit. It helps in arm wrestling to have a strong back. Uh, but yeah, with his style, it's if you really like, you don't want to fight for the hand because he will get the hand, right? You don't want to fight for. You just want to drag him and pull him to the side, like like this is where the success with Nugo was on the first round. Nugo, he didn't really much open things up. He just, as far as I remember, maybe he did open things up, but I
Yeah,
think
no,
he just went side.
it ended with a rotation, but the center
Yeah,
he ran through center sideways, and then that exposed Petro's rotation enough where that's where that final little rotation came when Nugo finished for the pin. It was very smooth on Nugo's part, which is kind of imperative when you're going to change directions like that. Has to be smooth, otherwise someone like Petro is going to adjust. So, yeah, credit to Nugo on that one, but he just grips low on everyone. So
yeah,
that's the thing. If you're posting up like this, he's going to
yeah,
go, oh, whatever. Like, even if it doesn't, he feels like he can probably top roll you, he's still going to come down and be like, whatever. Right? So, but that's the
yeah.
thing. Why get into a drag war?
Exactly, exactly. I don't know. I think the game plan should be good. Match will be interesting. Like it's hard to tell where you line up in power, but probably I think the match will stop eventually. It will stop somewhere, and that will come down to many different things, endurance and everything. It's a good match. I thought you and Nogo was also a great match. I thought it's a good test for you, and your skills where you could actually stop the match was, in my opinion, very good. Like where you would stop the match, it would be very good versus Nogo. With Petro, it's an interesting one. Like I really
he does what I like to do, but with a bigger hand.
Give me a second. Have you seen this? I gotta show you this. Okay. How do we go back? No, that's not it. This is it. Have you seen this? Do you see the screen?
Yeah. I did see this, yeah.
It's like some highlights from him pulling in Moldova. Like in Moldova when I was there, he was just insane. Like he looked like a Hellboy. But at the later rounds, he walks out and is those massive mittens for hands.
Yeah, he's certainly for anyone, he's a puzzle piece, and you just hope you're strong enough to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Why the slapping though? Is that him getting slapped?
Yeah, that's him getting slapped. You didn't see this.
Right.
Yeah, this is him knocking few people out.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Maybe we can do that after.
Imagine you see the guy, like you're like, oh yeah, like slap fighting, yeah, and then you see the hand of the guy, and you're like, I hope I go first. And everyone went first, but he still knocked him out, you know. Yeah, slap fighting.
I think that's the thing with arm wrestlers. I think there's a good our training. Like my hands, especially like I work with my hands all day. They just everyone complains that it just feels like a rock. I thought slapping someone with that, with all of our side pressure, and we all have thick necks because of what we do. That's
Yeah. Do you see yourself future in slap fighting as it brings more eyeballs? or you concern yourself with CTE, with what is it, concussions? I'm thinking, can we get stupider?
Can we get stupider? It depends on how much they can pay me. Like what's the limit for just like a few brain cells?
Yeah. Brain to money ratio.
It looks like fun, to be honest. It looks like some stuff like we used to do at school. We used to play punch for a punch, which was just straight on the shoulder. It's hard as we damn could. Just looked like schoolyard fun, to be honest.
Yeah. It's not something I would want to do, but I think there's a lot of people that do enjoy it. And I think they do get paid a lot. They do get paid a lot.
Yeah. I just read it'd be a gaff. It'd be funny ads.
Yeah. Career would be like 3 months.
Yeah. You would do one just to be like, it got paid. That was fun. Everyone knows I just got paid. That was it. Yeah.
Imagine like, let's say Dana White buys arm wrestling and like all of the arm wrestling, and he says like, now you're a slap fighting league. And I was like, okay, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean,
first round you arm wrestle, second round you slap.
Yeah, look, there's a few people I'd like to
slap
around in the same weight class as.
Yeah, I found that video because I was looking some videos for Petro, and I was like, oh right, he did this, and I thought, have you seen this? But it will be cool. Like, how is your training right now? You're already winding down, right? Or still
yeah. I've got like one more decent practice with Mario, Rickard and the like on Saturday, and then I'm kind of just chilling. Like, still going to be at work, obviously, but everything's starting to wind down. Things have been arm wrestling specific only for about a month now. So I've done very little general work in a while. It's all been very arm wrestling centric. So, but no, everything's feeling really good. Things are healthy, which is nice for a change. But I'm in a good spot. So training's been fun. Starting to lift. Well, I was starting to lift some quite decent weight with some good forms. So had 80 kilogram bicep curl that was below 90 that felt pretty comfy, and I thought I don't need to push it up to 90 where I had it before. There's been a lot more attention to my hand in rotation and shoulder, like cupping and internal rotation this time. So
so you don't end up outside, right? Because
it's been a lot of center control type of training, and that's why
your power is so much that you use all the power pulling down, and people get you out of your shoulder, and then you have to fight for it. It's not bad when you have it, right? But it's a struggle.
Well, you've got to be. That's the thing. You have to be stronger than them to be able to do it. When things are equal, we get stuck, and that's where we go. Oh, equal here, and what do? Move into a press because typically it's a good spot for me. So I did against Cressy. So
Would you want to run back with Cressy one more time?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, I had health stuff going on at the time. My hand blew up like mad, and I was just pulling him completely wrong. So
that was a great match, and I would love to see a rematch on that one because that
was a rematch. Cranston's just got to want to do it. He thinks I'm quite rude. I feel fair enough. I was kind of rude. So,
that is fair. That is absolutely fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't really say otherwise on that one. Apologies.
What you're thinking about Matt Mask and Nugo?
Actually, to be honest, I think Matt Mask is going to run through him, and that's not at all putting Nugo down. I think if Nugo manages to go sideways and can maintain that pressure, then I think that would be a lane that could expose Matt a little bit. But I think with the way that Matt Mask is going, that's a lot for 105 kilos. I think he will probably go through him. I just think it'd be just a bit too much. I think if it stops, Nugo's got a shot. But Matt is a very difficult person to deal with that hit as well.
Yeah, you kind of he will get the center most of the time. He will put you on.
People who beat him just beat him on sideways.
Yes.
With jam up and go, you're overpronated. I'm still going that way.
He is and his performance versus Ongabayev. Did you expect that?
No, I know. But, I mean, Ongabayev, was he Ongabayev of last year? To be fair, but he did have a year off for surgery. This is his first match back, but Kitagali isn't like other athletes where a year off would probably be detrimental because he's been doing it since he was a kid. So you got to weigh up like how much of it was actually a benefit to him to have that force break and allow those other structures around it to, strengthen and build without irritating things and all that kind of thing. I don't think Kitagali is someone that gets dusty after 12 months off. So, it is something to talk about and consider, but Matt ran through him. I think if Ongabayev was healthy, I think Matt would still have beaten him, but it might have been harder. I think that would be a fair deducement.
Yeah. Matt's looking really good. And I think if it comes down to like you versus him, I would love to see that. Him versus Cressy, also would love to see. Because last time he just also ran through Cressy, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I think last two times he pulled, or maybe one time he pulled Cressy. I don't remember. But he's such a hard guy to deal with because if you're trying to get any hand control, you're not going to get any, right? And
he's a match where you go, okay, I need to strengthen my hand, but it needs to be conditioned in a flat position.
Yes. Yeah, it's the maximum you're going to get. It's the maximum you're going to get. Yeah. I'm excited to see, like, he's very dedicated, and I like the category got more interesting, like 105, because kind of Devon went in and he just went through Petrenko and everyone's like, oh damn, like you are like you have to like realize like Devon is so far ahead. If he makes a weight in any class, he's just ridiculous, and to beat him, you need to kind of be like him, right? So I think that there's guys.
Definitely.
Franco was pulling low hand, and that one's like, oh, thank you for all this, right?
Yeah,
So
just went right
yeah.
over the top of it. So, as I said, Matt Masters is tricky. Someone like me, I don't know if he's my favorite corner person ever. And even though we're in the same weight class, I'm pretty sure Matt was like, "Well, I'm not going to be in your corner then, dickhead." So, so I'm hoping he's going to be in my
being around,
corner.
he's like, what should I do? What should I do? He's like,
It'd be funny. It'd be like just set into auto mode. He just starts telling me, "Wait, what?" Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, I hope he's in my corner this time. Obviously depends on when he's pulling and when I'm pulling. You'll never want to kind of distract him, but yeah, he's a good one to have. Have the Team Evil Genius coming as well, which is going to be amazing. So yeah, I like Mercer there.
good.
As well.
You feel healthy. You said.
Yeah, feel healthy. Like I think what I was lacking a lot of the time was cardiovascular fitness because it's boring. But because what I do for work, it's cardio all day, and I'm carrying. If I do 20,000 steps in a day, 10,000 of them are loaded with something in my hands that I'm walking with, or I'm got a drill or whatever. So, a lot of that cardio stuff has already been done, so I feel really fit. I'm 105 kilos, but I'm kind of sinewy. I think the leanest I've been at this weight, so I'm quite a little bit bigger than I've been before.
I hate you so much. Hate you so much.
It's been good. So I'm like pretty much 105 on the dot. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
So I feel good.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like right now, because it's getting more and more intense. Like, however I look at it, every class is getting more and more intense. There's no like matches that will not give you anything. These you won that title. Is everyone wants that title? So now everyone's for the fight for the title, right? And if this is like the most important match, like for you, this is the most important match of your life. It puts you one step closer, right? Wherever you want to be, that's where you're gonna be put. If you lose, you go backwards, right? And no one wants to go backwards. So I think it's getting more and more, especially like how many times you pulled on East versus West. Do you even know?
East versus West was.
And King of Table together.
Oh, and King of the Table. I don't know, 7 times maybe. Pretty bad. I had 2 East versus West, and I think 4 King of the Table.
You have 7 matches, yeah.
Yeah.
7 matches. Yeah. King of Table, 1, 2, 4 East versus West. No, 5 East versus 4, 2 East versus West, and 5 King of Table.
5 King of Table.
That's what I'm
reading.
Yeah. It's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Like there's few guys that are really, really active. You're one of those. You're trying your best, and especially considering you're down under. How is the situation right now in Australia? Like,
Oh, good,
I
man.
think.
Like, Rickard and I have we're not going to compete. It doesn't make sense for us to even bother. What makes sense for us right now is to be a multiplier of one another. We have that opportunity without the pressure of a match where we can really just train and improve both of us. So there's far more value in that than having a match now. It's like, okay, if I beat him, it's going to be, well, Lockie's been doing it for a lot longer. He's older, yada, 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 right? So there's no real win there. It's like, oh, okay, Rickard will get him one day. It's just a matter of years. But if he beats me, it's just like, yeah, well, so he should. He's 130 kilos. So either way, so it's kind of like a nothing match. So I think if it does happen, it'll be at an opportunity that I get to defend the Oceanic title, and that'll be a tournament. It just, schedules and everything have to line up. But if I do manage to be at that one, then Rickard and I will probably meet there in a tournament setting, which is great. But if that doesn't happen, we've got a couple of years up our sleeves, and I think that would be best served training with each other, because we don't have any other people that can actually redline us, in certain positions. So Rickard and I have our lanes against each other that are both very effective, and it's the perfect training partner to have, to be honest. Like, the best I could ask for in this region. So training on the table has really picked up. So I have felt quite a big difference with that. So, yeah.
I understand. I do understand because it's hard to find someone that you can really train with. You can train with a lot of people, but like when someone is close and someone challenges you, makes you be better all the time, right? You have to, because this young kid, he's just growing into it, and you're now in a race, and he's in a race too, so it helps. And as soon as you start like pulling against each other, that someone's gonna hold it in, the loser gonna hold it in, and be like, oh, like now I feel I can beat him. I shouldn't show what I'm doing. That he shouldn't, and then you start, and it's just a normal thing. And I think it's very smart what you guys.
Yeah, and it's just like, that doesn't serve either of us, in our own, respective careers. So, yeah, I mean, it'll happen eventually, of course. And when it happens, it'll, and I've said this from day dot, for me, that's a good day. Because that means that the sport, in Australia at least, is getting to a point where weight classes, the champion of the 105 can't touch the dude who's a super heavyweight at number one. It should be that way. And conversely, exactly. And I can float between 115, and I did even have the idea that I could probably make a 95, depending on what it was for or who. I could cut down to 95, but yeah, I can kind of float around. So, in Australia, 105, 115, I don't believe there's going to be someone that's going to be able to beat me for a very long time. Rickard, super heavyweight. And when that happens, like I said, it's a good day. I have very little feeling towards the title, to be honest, like the overall one, because I know it's just a matter of time. It's only because the sport down here is, big fish, little pond. So I take that title with a grain of salt. Yes, it is an honour, but I know my days are numbered because I'm not a super heavyweight. I'm just not that much human.
Yeah, and you don't, because you tried to go heavy and you just didn't feel right?
Oh,
didn't
feel awful. It was snoring, I had sleep apnea, 120 kilos, and I'm like, I can't support being this big. Yeah. So
that all makes
sense. Work.
It's very understandable, and I think it helps both of you if you're you're in this together, right? And especially you are more competing internationally than locally, right? Like, when was the last time you competed locally? 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So your dreams are bigger just than that, and you are still the guy, but you open doors for everyone else, and I think that's
that's awesome. Part of training with Rickard is like, and it's same with my coaching, and you would know this. My kind of philosophy is, if I can teach someone enough where they don't need me anymore, amazing. Or if I can teach someone enough where they surpass me, fantastic. That gives now me something to chase, because chasing's always easier than being the top dog. So it's a win-win no matter what happens. And if whatever I can teach him, fantastic. He gets it all.
Yeah. I also, Mario Tombakis, he impressed me a lot when he beat Plummen. He got great strategy, just, and he beat him. It was awesome. I think that was one of the biggest wins for Australia ever, because Plummen is awesome. He's so good.
He is. Mario is surprising all around. And you met him, you know him. Very entrepreneurial. He's a very driven young man as well. And it was only a matter of time. He's very clever, and I don't think he gets the kudos for that. Good pull.
I don't think so too. I think it's hard when you don't compete everywhere on the big stages, and it's just hard, right? People kind of forget about people because there's so many arm wrestlers, and there's
so many good
very good arm wrestlers, and it's so easy to lose. And then you're like, you were never good. No, he's just better,
Yeah, fun. And we can improve. That's the thing. That's the beautiful part of arm wrestling is, I might be 35, but I've still got, there's so much more rope to improve upon. It's just
Yeah,
a part.
looking at the bigger guy, not bigger guys, but older veteran guys, does that give you hope that you think like, oh, like at least 20 more years, like I can improve for like 20 more years? It's looking
Yeah,
like that, right?
yeah, absolutely it does. And I think, yeah, that's part of why, part of the decision to lose weight, being the lighter weight classes, is I've got better longevity there. I can walk around that and maintain that weight without even
Hmm.
thinking about it. So that gives me the best place to actually build strength from. Just a walk around weight, not really having to worry about weight cuts. Like I said, a quick cut down to 95 would be brutal, but it'd have to be worth it. Otherwise,
Hmm.
105, like I'm here for a long time. This is a easy weight for me to be.
Do you miss powerlifting?
Oh, it's so boring. I don't miss any of it.
I was, we have I have talked with guys because I did a bunch of powerlifting as well,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I don't miss it because it is really compared to arm wrestling.
Yeah,
Like the only thing is like you're gonna lift it or not. Your shoulder feels fine, your hips feel fine,
yeah.
your back feels fine. You will see, right? And then it's
And,
just the
and the
grind.
competitions make no sense because who are you competing against? What's
Yourself, yourself,
yeah,
the number.
the
Yeah.
number, the weight. So it's arbitrary. The whole sport is
Um,
arbitrary. Sorry, but I couldn't. It was enough. And then bench press was like the last thing I was still doing. And then I had a bit of a brainwave. I pull my elbows through so much. All arm wrestlers do. Why am I then choosing an exercise that allows me to put the most amount of weight possible on my elbows? Like, just give it a break. It's not
for fun,
required. Huh?
for
Well, there are
just
other
for
ways to train the chest that are far more, that you get a better pump from, and it's far more arm wrestling
yeah.
centric. So, yeah, bench said goodbye, and my shoulders have thanked me.
Listen, right now someone's like, "Oh, two failed powerlifters talking shit about powerlift."
Yeah, and then they get to just, show us their low IQ because they still think it's this super interesting thing. What happened differently today? I moved my ankle by like
Yeah,
an inch wider and I got like a
yeah,
5 kilo PR. Yeah, blow my
yeah,
head off. Thanks.
yeah. Like there is something like it makes you feel strong and all those things. It's like training and fun and progressing. You see the numbers, you're getting stronger. I do love those things. Everyone kind of loves those things. We have this one guy comes to our gym and he is 2 meters 210, right? So I don't know how much. Like,
Cool.
super, and he's a power lifter, very young guy, like 21, 22. And I'm like, I go to him, I'm like, dude, like quit all this shit, come to arm wrestling. I'm like, first of all, you're never gonna make any money here if you want to do it even as a hobby. I said, you travel the world, you'll meet some great people, you live some amazing life, just come to arm wrestling. Because and he had like the all the things you need for potential. But he's like,
Yeah.
oh, but I want to squat this much and I really want to bench this much. I'm like,
Oh, and I get
I,
it. I get
I,
it. But
yeah, call me
yeah,
in 10 years. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
I get guys like barbell athletes that kind of my jam, transitioning barbell athletes into arm wrestlers. And it's such a shift in paradigm for them, and it's so difficult for them to understand because they micro like analyze every little thing that they do, and I was the same way, and it becomes this obsessive thing. So trying to remove them from form needs to be perfect, form needs to be combative. In the way that you move on the table with weights and obviously on the table is challenging. Because they
Yeah.
just move like bricks.
Yes. It's clunky
Yeah,
moves. Yeah. Because
it's
then,
clunky, yeah. And since giving it all up, like being able to do that, is like touch my shoulders, right? Like
yeah, yeah,
sometimes, like if I'm an inside puller,
yeah.
why am I built out here? It makes no sense. Of course, I'm going to rely on my biceps. So since cutting all that stuff back, my elbow can get way across me. It makes so much
Yeah.
more sense.
You
So
could,
it's
you would bend your arms backwards. They would bend even more. Wrist goes all the way, like 360. Like that's what you want. Like
Yeah.
coil up as much as you can, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I like starting. When I'm being a dick at the table and I walk up to a match, I pull them in and I put their hand on my chest. It's a lot of fun. But being able to do that was, yeah, goodbye to bench. And I get guys going, oh, I'd like to keep this in the program. And I'm like, well, it depends on how much you want to progress in arm wrestling. Like the general stuff that's kept in there is obviously the back stuff, but at the same time, I'm trying to build your abdominal rotation. I'm trying to build strong human beings in some stuff that they want, some full body things. But for the most part, it they have emotional attachments to things, and I'm like, it's going to stop you from being better
Yes.
at arm wrestling.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
very hard when you have learned one way to reteach yourself the other way. Like, listen, I this is probably the greatest experience. We went to Mindaugas. We filmed like 4 days with Mindaugas. He
Yeah, I
showed,
was on the videos.
and people think he's trolling. And I think I'm going to make a video where I explain, because some things he does, he can't really explain it, but I know what he's doing and why it's working. And the whole thing with him is just patience. Like all his training is just slow. It keeps everything healthy, but it's not saying like he doesn't go hard. Like he trains really, really hard when he trains on a table, but he doesn't do it with weights. He treats weights as recovery. And like I talked with Matt yesterday, and he also now treats weights as recovery. Like it could be accessory or it can be recovery, but it shouldn't be the main thing, because the main thing is the arm wrestling. And
Yeah, of
with me,
course.
he's telling and showing, and I'm like, he's like, no one wants to do this because it's boring. Like most things will be very like those things are not attractive because you will progress very slowly, but you will like he will do his JM presses in a chest machine, right? Like arms out, and then he will do like this, and it builds the JM press version, but to different variation, right? And builds your inner elbow in a fully stretched end range position, and you want to put more weight on it, but you shouldn't. Like you should slowly, because the tendon will slowly, because it never had any training in that position. And those are the things that people just don't want to do. And we're used to, like me, I want to go in a gym and like, oh, I'll do back, I'll do biceps, and it just makes me feel good because that's how I grew up, right? And I think maybe if slowly we can change the minds of people, I think, open
Yeah.
doors for many. Because even Devin's going to do like his recovery workout, right? And people are like, oh, how much the weight is there? He puts like 1.5 pound and does a 3 hour workout with it. Like he will do this, and it's all just like, it's so boring, but it helps. It translates because we are constantly destroying our elbows and arms. Like it is just true, right? And even for me, because I love lifting heavy, and you probably love lifting heavy too, right?
No, I used to. No, that's what I'm saying. This, like, I have my little pockets where I'll lift something heavy, but
Yeah.
it's because I didn't go to arm wrestling practice on the normal day. It might have been too late, so I'm looking for a heavy fill in. But most of my training, no, it's because and I tell all of my clients this is just arm wrestling is if you're training to be a deadlift only specialist, what are you going to do the most of? Get a deadlift.
Deadlift.
Every exercise that you do that's not a deadlift but it's close to is an accessory too, and that's all weights are, is an accessory. So it shouldn't break you down for training. Sure, there's when people get into a weight training program, they take a little while to adapt, but once they have done that, it's not to break you down for the session. It's to make you better for the arm wrestling session. It's kind of like a mini prime. Nothing should hurt, and you should be able to hit your best positions. If you need extra resistance, well, add hands. Choose to pull with stronger guys. You shouldn't be going into arm wrestling practice fatigued, which was something that was taught to me is, oh, you're the stronger guy, go in messed up. But it messes with your form completely. So I tell people, no, go in not fresh, but go in recovered where nothing hurts and you can move smoothly and you can get into your spots. The periodization within table time as well, it's been difficult to try and get across.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
hard to manage. It's hard to manage for yourself because we can like easily get carried away. You can easily get carried away. You're like, oh, I'm having so much fun. I should go harder, right? And then you pull, and then your arms hurt, and then you like. I'm always saying like you like if training is for progress. If you train and you don't progress, it's not a good training. You didn't do good training. You
And the
just did
metric has to be on the table.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only measure.
My biggest pet peeve is when I go, well, what weight should an elite puller lift for this movement? I go, I don't know, dude, because I can lift the shit out of Krasimir any day of the week on any lift. What does it mean?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Exactly.
It's how it's applied on the table, and it doesn't matter how you move that 40 kilograms or that 30 kilograms. If you are able to translate all of what you can do into the hand onto the table, then it's going to be significant.
Yeah.
So the number it's an arbitrary thing for me. It's nice to kind of track over maybe a long period of time and keep track of things, but overall, the metric is always the table.
Good. Man, I love these talks we have from time to time because, like, both of us kind of upgrade our software. Then we have things we can discuss, and it's awesome. Man,
We're
I
always
wish you.
upgrading, though.
I wish you good luck in pitching. Margarint match, and everything. I got to run. I have a hairdresser. I'm looking ugly, so I need to. I don't have this what you have, so I can't. Still, this makes more money than anything else. So.
Well, thanks for having me, and you enjoy that haircut.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Go watch King of Table 14. Lachlan Adair is gonna be there and kick some ass. Stay strong. Love arm wrestling, guys. Bye.